Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Loretta McNary Show. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to your host, Loretta McNary.
Hello and welcome to the Loretta McNary Show. I am so excited and hopefully I can contain myself, but I've worked hard on this interview and I know you're going to be so happy that we have one of our very own here in the city of Memphis that we're very both proud of and humble for him taking on this huge task that he has chosen to take on. He chose this now, and it is Coach Josh Pastner of the University of Memphis Tigers. Go Tigers!
Go Tigers! Thank you for letting me be part of your show, and to the viewers out there, thank you. So I'm excited, and the good thing is people, like you said, people are excited. Mm-hmm. The great news is I'm undefeated. So the fans love me and the players love me because I haven't made any substitutions yet.
So
I'm one of the few coaches. I'm one of the few coaches in America that's undefeated.
How many people can say that?
Exactly. So,
that's a good way to look at it. That's one thing you're going to be known for forever is your passion and your enthusiasm and your brightness of how you see the world. If we could all see the world through your eyes, Josh.
Well, I appreciate that. You know, I look at it that every day that you wake up, it's a gift. Mm-hmm. And I really try to live by a couple key words every day, and I keep myself in check. I always want to be centered at everything that I do, and make sure that I never get too high with the highs, too lows with the lows. Keep centered, because there's so many peaks and valleys, and patience. And so I've got to make sure I keep centered. I have good clarity in everything that I do, have a really clear thinking, and keep things in perspective.
Okay.
Because from midnight to midnight, and I say this all the time, and people probably are tired of me hearing saying this, but it's the truth. Midnight to midnight, there's 86,400 seconds in a day.
I know. The first time I heard your interview, you quoted that when you took over.
Amazing.
They made the announcement.
And
how many is it again?
86,400 seconds.
400 seconds.
And it's such a short time period, and life is so precious. So, you know, you want to make sure that you have clarity and just keep things in perspective. Be kind. I always say be kind, be good to people, and be humble, because that's always an important thing. As we people sometimes make bad decisions based on arrogance or ego.
Right.
If you stay humble and stay grounded, have a clear picture of what you want to do, keep centered and be kind, usually keep moving on the straight path.
Who taught you that? Is that something you learned through the years, or was your father, your grandfather, your mother, somebody that said, okay, Josh, when you're growing up, always have clarity and stay balanced and focused?
Well, you know, my father was a very positive influence on me in many ways, and I've done a lot of reading as well too. I've read, I've observed, I've studied. I'm a question guy. I'm interested in people, and so anytime I have a chance, I ask a lot of questions, and so I just kind of, it's just like me being around different coaches in my career. You develop your own. You learn. You be a sponge, and you develop your own philosophy from things you like, you don't like, and then you put into your own thing that you're gonna teach. Same thing from getting from other people and reading and studying. So it's the kind of same thing. You develop your philosophy and then teach it.
And I think that's what I do as a parent too.
Yep.
I take what I really loved about how I was raised with my mom and dad,
exactly.
and I use those things and the things that really got on my nerves. I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that. But you know what I found? I found myself doing those things I said I wouldn't do.
Parenting's not easy. It's not easy.
You're rewriting it every day. So I guess with coaching you do too.
You do, and as a parent, as a coach, you're worried every day too. You sometimes, I mean, again, I like to say you can live in a faith base or a fear base, but living in a faith base, it helps you to try to keep things again in the present, in the moment. But it's hard when you're dealing with young people. You do worry because you know you worry for their safety and for their health and for their happiness,
their well-being.
Their well-being, exactly.
And I guess parents and coaching are kind of interchangeable because I find myself coaching my sons, you know, as a parent, and I guess as a coach I used to parent my players. So
I think it's a great dynamic in society. When you look at how many times has a parent asked a coach to say, "Hey, can you help me with my son or daughter?" Like, because sometimes the son or daughter really looks up to the coach, or sometimes a coach who will give some good guidance to a parent, or a parent give good guidance to a coach, but they're really intermingled because they're really there for the same reason, to help them grow, not to be their buddy, but to help them to give the education they need as in terms of what's right, what's wrong, how to live life the right way. And so I think the parent and coach is whether you're a teacher, mentor, parent, it all goes hand in hand because you're really the focus is for the young person at hand to have them, make the right choices.
And the best choice they can. And that's what separates us from being somebody's buddy. And
Correct.
Because a buddy will tell you everything you want to hear.
Exactly.
They'll go along with you, good or bad. But
Right.
a parent is supposed to not cross that line. If you're
Right.
doing something wrong, we need to tell you. And as
Right.
a coach, I'm sure you have to do that too more often than I probably have to as a parent sometimes.
Well, I think one of the great keys to having success in anything, and that's not always about wins and losses, just in general, is you can't allow slippage. And slippage is, again, being able to tell them when they need to be told, as in terms of they're not doing something right, they need to be told no. Or if they're on the basketball court, if they're making the wrong assignment, they need to do it again until it's done right, and keep it over and over and over. And with that, as a child or as a player they get frustrated at the parent or they get frustrated at the coach, but we know that we're trying to do what's best for them. And sometimes discipline is the best forms of love. You know what I mean? Because it's
and
needed
that's usually
to be.
Hindsight, though. It
Yes.
doesn't feel good at the time.
I just got married.
Congratulations!
Thank
I was
you.
going to tell you that.
Well,
I want to say congratulations.
Well, thank you so much, and she's a sweetheart to put up with me because I'm not easy to put up with. But she has a son from a previous relationship, so he's my stepson now, and I've been in his life since 3. As you know, as a parent, when a child cries at a younger age because you told them no, you feel bad, but you've got to say no. I can't give in because you want to. So when I was thinking back in the day when Mom said, "This is actually harder on me than it's harder on you," and it's the truth. Now I understand.
You get it now, but at the time I promise Mom, it's gonna hurt me
Yeah.
as much as or more than it's gonna hurt you. I'm like, then won't you just take the paddling yourself, and then we can cut the middleman out. So as you said, growing up, I was reading a lot about you, and people think your story just started that day you got the call and you were doing a news conference, but you actually have an amazing story prior to that call, and I want to tell you really do.
Thank
so
you.
when you were 16 and you were driving a player from like city to city,
Port Arthur to Houston every weekend. We go from Port Arthur, Texas, to Houston. I would go 2 round trips every weekend. We'd go. I would do it all the time.
Share that story because we're introducing you
Right.
to a lot of people. So.
There was a gentleman from on the summer team that I played for, the Houston Hoops, and I was a player coach. And one of the key players on our team was Steven Jackson, who's now with the Golden State Warriors. And he was on our team. He was a really good player, and he lived in Port Arthur, Texas. And it was about an hour 45 from our house or from our practice site in Houston. Because I was a coach, I had to go get him Friday, drive him to practice. We'd practice Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning. I would drive back to Port Arthur and back. So I was on the road. I mean, every weekend I did that for a few years, and but it was something that I loved doing, and because it was about for the team. And as a coach, I understood that you're only as good as your players, and you needed good players. And
right.
but I enjoyed it, all that stuff with my summer team stuff that I was involved in, with the travel, the recruiting, the strategy, the substitutions, managing egos. It really is helped me for where I am today.
Prepares you for it today.
Absolutely.
So how soon did you start playing basketball, though, and then get into the player-coach role? How early was that?
Well, I just really young. I was always into sports. I mean, I loved the game of basketball. I remember I was in 5th grade, and I watched I was in my parents' bedroom watching the Lakers Celtics, and it was one of those NBC, CBS, ABC weekend games where they had it was on national TV, and I remember looking over to my father and saying, Dad, I want to stay involved in the game, and if I can't make it to the NBA as a player, what's the next best thing to do if you can't play? I said, it's coaching. Wow. So if I can't make it as a player, then I want to stay involved as a coach. And since then, really, since 5th grade, I really put a lot of my energies, focus towards that goal of becoming a coach. So it was good. It was good. But I love playing. I played all kinds of other sports, and I loved it, enjoyed it every day. So it was good.
It was good. You know what? This is a good place for us to stop because we've gone from your childhood, and as you were a player and wanting to become a coach, we're going to take a break, and then we'll be right back and talk to him, his life as a coach, in just a moment.